Hey guys, it's Greg. I'm the owner of the channel, Northwoods Racing, and our season just wrapped up at Owasso. I won the championship with a lot of hard work, consistency, having the right parts to replace stuff if I had a problem. Um, I normally don't make a video where I'm on it and talking just because there's so much good information out there. One of the best pieces of information anybody could get, in my opinion, is the OKT, Old Cart Technology book by Frank Ash III. Um, that was kind of my Bible for setup for anything cart related this year. And I followed it along with some advice from my engine builder, AJ Thompson from No Limits. Um, Built me great power plants. Engines were perfect all year. Um, I always carry a spare with me, and more often than not, somebody else used my spare when they had an issue because I'm all about helping other people. Um, in my last race that you're going to see here in a few minutes, I won it by almost a half a lap, and everybody else was saying the track was so bad, and it wasn't the track was bad. It was their setup, their tires, or something was off because I thought the track was great, and I was much faster than anybody else in the race. Cautions packed them back up. If we'd have run 10 laps straight, I probably would have lapped half the field. But yeah, it was a very fun night. Rained most of the day. We didn't start racing until like 7:30. Got done a little after midnight. I also won the feature, which you're going to see. Um, the heat race, I'm going to try to link in it because my wife got there late and videoed it on her phone. But a few things, everybody's getting information from all these different places. And I will tell you for a fact that if something works for me, it's not necessarily going to be exactly what you need. If you get a book like OKT and you get a base setup and then you learn what changes do what for you, have a good tire program, have a good engine program, you can be fast. Last year was my first year kart racing, and I'd bring the kart home, power wash it off with the engine on and everything, and just shove it in the garage and pull it out the next race. Maybe slap a little prep on it of some stuff I had left over when I bought the kart. At first, I didn't even know anything about prep because no one was going to tell me, and I didn't have any. I bought a different kart, and it came with a bunch of prep. And we're like, well, let's try this, and what a difference running unprepped tires against these guys as to prep tires. I mean, we did okay, but the prep made a world of difference. Um, I was running Track Tack products most of the year, and in the last race, my engine builder said he had something he wanted me to try, and I bought a new set of Vega tires. He cut and sized them and prepped them for me with his stuff. Couldn't tell you what it is. Not even gonna. I mean, I'll buy from him from now on, but the actual prep, I'm not even sure what the name of it is or anything, but it worked, and his program worked for this cool, cold 40, low 40s wet track night. This was the first time this year that we didn't have 75, 80-degree weather and somewhat of a drier track. Um, and so the season was great. Uh, the things I feel is important is get your setup right. Work on the cart, get it right. A lot of guys pay people to do this. It's not that hard, guys. Get a book, read it, follow the book. If you don't have scales, I'm going to show a picture of the scales I use. I didn't spend $1,200 on a set of scales in a stand. I bought some cheapy scales offline. You can buy them at Harbor Freight, and they worked just fine. I was pretty good most of the time. It's amazing that I did as good as I did the last 4 races of the season because 5 races ago, I got hit so hard in the front it bent my cart, and I actually took a chain fall and a come along and some straps and screwed it down to a surface and pulled it as straight as what I thought it could be, and Couldn't quite get my cross weight to where I wanted it ever again, but I got it as close as I could, and then changed a few other things to make the cart handle, and it worked out. So next year it's a brand new chassis for me, and I had a guy that wanted this one. So I told him this bend a little bit. He says, well, it's still fast. I'm like, well, it might be still fast, but I think I can still go faster with a new chassis. So that's the route I'm going. A lot of good information. Cart Speed Solutions. Dave has a lot of good information on setup and explains stuff on the cart. Tells you how to use a micron, which I don't have. I may have one next year because, in my opinion, that's like a dyno, a cart chassis dyno. There's so much information you can get off of it. So I'm leaning towards that, but I have a hard time spending $600 on that. I do everything, I got a family, and I try to do it on a budget. You can race on a budget and be competitive. Most of the year I ran on Cobra tires just because they were inexpensive and I wanted to prove that they could run. And the last 2 races I ran on Vega tires, and I think I got everything I could out of the Cobras, and I wouldn't have been as fast as I was on the Cobras as I was on the new Vegas. So that being said, I mean, just because it works for me doesn't mean it'll work for you. Different areas, different tires, different Duro readings, different gears. I was running 2 pounds higher air pressure than anybody, and some of them were running 3 and 4 pounds less than me. But that's what works for me. So, key thing, find out what works for you. Keep good notes. Scale your cart. Clean your cart every single week. I take my cart all the way down. I ultrasonic clean the bearings. I take the clutch off, brush the clutch out, blow it out, clean it out. Every few races, I take it apart, super clean it. And I keep myself in good physical condition. I had heard so many guys this year, man, that 20 laps just about killed me. And I'm like, well, let's go 20 more. I guess physical conditioning to me is as important as having good tires. If the tires hold on and you can't hold on, the cart's only as good as what your physical capability is. So good physical condition, good cart setup, and good tires. And I guess the old saying, keep it simple, stupid. Don't overthink this. It's not really rocket science. There's a lot to it. It takes a lot of attention to detail. It takes some dedication, but it's not that difficult. If you can turn a wrench, if you know anything mechanically, you can do this all yourself and not pay some guy a couple $100 to set your cart up. As far as tires, not everybody has. I have a surfacer, I have a tire roller, I don't have a tire cutter, and my engine builder does, and he cut the tires the first time I ever had to cut brand new tires except for my Cobras, and they weren't cut, they were just surfaced and prepped. It's a fun game. Sad to see the season over, and cart came out, the body turned out still pretty good from the first of the year, but the bent chassis just tells me it's time for new. I bought this one used, so I'm going to plug away at it next year. I'll be 60 in a couple of weeks, and that just tells you it doesn't matter your age. Get in good shape and go out and have fun. Young or old, I'll run against anybody. I love racing, and I hope you do too. Have a good day.